Hello my little sugar buggers, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is part numero dos of the, what was it called again? Midtown Manor. I keep calling it like the Midtown Mansion. That was the original name, by the way. So today we are going in and furnishing the bottom floor as well as kind of painting the walls, the exterior, the interior, giving this home just a little bit more character and kind of bringing it together as a whole. I hope I didn't really miss anything from the beginning part to the last part because it feels like we did something. I'm not exactly sure what we did, but I might be just hallucinating just a little bit. So even though I do paint the walls with this exterior, I actually kind of go through towards the end of the build when I'm making like my final, my final brain fart. Hello, come on, somebody help me here. I know you're yelling at me in the comments down below. My final decisions or my final touches. There we go. Thank you. Oh God. Yes. When I make my final touches, I actually do change the exterior and all that jazz just a little bit because I felt like it was very flat. But I did like the original color combination of this house. But a few things change. And just in case you're not familiar, this is a 2 out of 4 part series. Yes, 4 parts it took Jennifer to make this because it took my time. And I also, again, the only 15-minute parts. Probably could have nailed this down in about like 2, but you know, I like to drag it out, like I drag my culito on the carpet on a hot summer day, you know what I mean? I'm just kidding, no, really though. That's my cat's job. But anyway, we're adding in some pillars or columns, and these are also something that I go in and change a little bit later. I originally wanted a very like rustic looking exterior, but then I kind of realized it didn't match the interior that we added in a little bit later, so I kind of had to go out and fix a couple things. So this is just really kind of like pointless in me even showing you this, but I am showing you one of the options and kind of what it looked like. I even added in those awnings, and I was playing around with some other just exterior fun stuff and decided not to go with that either. So we're kind of cutting through all the jibba jabba, and we're going in and adding in some lights just to illuminate the place. We're also going in and playing with possible flooring and also maybe some stone to go underneath the fireplace there, which I didn't like either. I decided to try to make the bottom floor look as unison as possible and not differentiate too much from one room to the next, since it is pretty much a very open floor plan. One room kind of flows into the other, and then the other one flows into the other one. If you add in too much of a difference between the wallpapers and things of that sort without kind of keeping them somewhat uniform, it looks very odd. It looked very odd to me. As I was playing around with maybe the backsplash of the kitchen and stuff like that, it became very apparent to me that I wasn't going to make things super duper different or outstanding in any way, shape, or another. Now, the upstairs rooms and stuff, when we get into the third part, those are definitely where the house kind of takes on a little bit more of a different personality because we are able to separate those different types of themes from one room to another. So I did, and I'm not going to lie, I have no shame in my game whatsoever. I did use, and this is such a good handy dandy tip for when you're kind of stuck on a theme and you need a little bit of boost inspiration. I do believe this is why they are here. Just go into the pre-made room build and kind of pan through some of the options to see what you would like to make your room kind of look like. What the hell am I doing? I'm literally furnishing or painting all the rooms. So see, I kind of played around with some blues and things upstairs as well. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of made me dizzy. My heart's palpitating. But yeah, play through the pre-made rooms and stuff and pick and choose kind of like what you would like to maybe add to that specific room that you're stuck on. Like for me, it was the kitchen, and I didn't know kind of how I wanted to make it. And then I think also it helped me with the bathrooms and things like that, just to kind of keep my original vision and, what I wanted to make the house look like intact and not kind of stray too far away from that. So here we are just adding in some rugs. I love to add in like I guess it's like a doormat, right? But like an interior doormat. And I put a couple chairs in here. I kept it very like Victorian. And I just think it looks really classy. Like when you walk in, you have these 2 beautiful like armchairs and a nice little lamp. I really love the entryway because it's simplistic at its best, but it also looks very inviting and warm and cozy. And that is why I made very, very, very good use of low light. I really love low lighting, like not to the point where you're like literally walking in the dark and you can't see and oh my god, I just stubbed my damn toe. Not that kind of lighting, but just very like warm ambiance, like candlelight lighting, warmth and coziness. I love that, love it, just love it. So I wanted to add in some, livable details, things that make you feel like this house has been lived in. I added in a nice little hat and I think coat rack, some zapatos because I don't wear shoes in the house. If you came to my house and you had some shoes on, honey, I'd be wrestling to you. I'd be wrestling you to the floor as you came in through the door, and I'd be like, take those damn papas right off, and I'd be throwing them back into the foyer where they belong. Yeah, no, we don't play with that. It's the biggest pet peeve is when somebody comes into my house with their damn shoes on. It's like, boy, girl, you might have stepped in dog dookie. You might be stepping in bubble gum that, Aunt Susie was chewing on for 2 weeks. I don't know where your feet have been. That is literally like you throwing a piece of toilet paper on the floor because, honey, it is just as damn dirty. Anyway, we're not going to get on that tangent today, but at least you know where you stand if you came into mi casa. But anyway, I'm adding in drapes. Another thing that I don't ever use because I feel like drapes just look so damn tacky. I don't know what it is. If I ever had a house, I would need Deli or somebody to come furnish it for me because there'd be no way in hell I'd be able to do it. I just can't. I don't know what it is, but this is good. This is good because I'm branching out a little bit. I'm trying new things. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. So yeah, I'm adding in the drapes just to kind of give it a more like, huggy feeling, and I ain't talking about the diapers. I also like to play with rugs and offsetting the colors of the chairs. I do realize the chairs are 2 different colors. I like that. Personally, for me, I would definitely do that in my own home. One of the things I do want to build in the future, and I actually do like the way that piano looks. I really wanted a piano in this build, but I couldn't find a way or a place to put it. But now that I'm looking back on it, I kind of do like it there. I mean, I even played with a bar option. I played with everything, and I just felt like it was getting too close in the living room for comfort, and I just kind of wanted this to be more of like a family room, a smaller, warmer space. But now, like I said, I'm looking back on it. I'm like, a lot of options could have worked out. So this is cool because I'm giving you guys options as well for when you want to like maybe revamp it a little bit. Just playing with some random decorations and all of that sort of stuff. I was saying something earlier, but now I forgot because that's just how I am 10 seconds time. Like, I feel like we're really learning a lot about each other in these builds. We'll like the chit chat sessions. I don't even know, but I'm adding more different types of drapes too. Like the thing is with drapes is you don't need to keep them totally unison. Like you can play with different things, and that is why I love the movie stuff pack. I have no idea if that's the actual name, movie hangout stuff. Is because the drapes and the accessories and all the like decorative items, they are so freaking handy. Even though they have like this bohemian-esque vibe to them, the one thing I love about that pack, and I think I rave about it the absolute most, is that they have made color swatches perfect for when you're trying to do any type of build. And I've used those drapes, the ones that kind of like can hang on any hinge of the window, in so many different types of builds. So again, your girl is super freaking adamant about adding in that grand piano, but unfortunately, I just couldn't make it work. Again, with the whole bookshelf thing, I officially decided that I'm just going to block that off. This actually causes a ton of issues later with the bone structure of the home, and when I go ahead and do some more exterior work, it's so frustrating. And I'll definitely moan and groan and, snitch and complain. Replace snitch with a B and you'll get what I'm saying. A little bit later, I'm going to save that for now, but I really also abused the kind of drapey lights. And then I also used a BB Move Objects to insert the little round disc lights that kind of just, those little black things, kind of like almost they look like a base of the lamp, but instead they just give you that little extra boost, the loose boost, as I would like to call it, light boost. And what else are we doing? Playing with a whole bunch of different stuff. I love the fact that I used a lot of different textures. I played around a little bit. Like, it's definitely a lot of brown. But again, I kind of spiced it up here and there and everywhere. So going back to the whole room situation and going around and getting some inspiration, I really loved this template for this build specifically. I actually do change the counter colors and all that stuff, and I lay it out very similar to the broom build, but I also make it my own, and I also play around and see what else I would like to use, because I do believe for me personally, they used a more smaller wall because like the bottom floor, as you probably can already tell, the bottom floor has a like almost like a two, it's not a 2-level wall, but like it's longer, and then up top it's a little more shorter. I don't know, I like that. And so I had to kind of obviously maneuver around and work with the counters and all that jazz, specifically for being able to fit those into the way that I had placed the walls. So I decided, because this is kind of like a mini manor mansion, whatever, and I really wanted it to have a sense of luxury and just, elegance, I decided to go ahead and add in a double stove, or like a double range, as people like to call it. And it looks really fancy there. I like it. Not that you would ever really take advantage of using 2 stoves, but you might. I mean, I don't know. I just thought it'd be fun. And then also, I was going to change the floor. The flooring in the kitchen. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it too, it's just weird. Like, if you ever get stuck on a build, and like, just side note, and you think that you're never going to finish it because just nothing is looking right to you, it's probably because you've gotten in a funk. And just take like an hour, even take a day, and come back to it. And you'd be surprised how freaking refreshed and creative your mind is. Like, sometimes I'll get stuck on builds and I'll be like, I can't do this anymore. I'll have to like go, take a dump or something. And I'm totally kidding. But no, I would really have to like go do something else. And then I'd come back to it when I'm like all refreshed and like, and then I'm like, oh my God, this doesn't look as bad as I thought it did. And I'm just getting pissy. That's essentially what was happening. So this is actually one of the areas too, where I just felt like I wasn't furnishing it enough. There wasn't enough happening in here. And I don't like cluttery houses. I hate clutter, actually. And even though that can make or break a build, I really didn't want that to happen. I feel like cluttering up builds when you're putting them on the gallery, for me, is personalizing it too much. Does that make sense? So like, you're personalizing the house way, way, way too much. I like to decorate the homes just enough to where it feels like you're moving into a new place. And then you have the ability to kind of, think of it as like drawing a picture without coloring it in. I think that's the way that I think about it. And that's what I like to do with my builds. So if they're a little more emptier and stuff like that, it's not because I, lack creativity or whatever. Well, maybe one of the reasons, but we're going to not roll with that one. But I mean, it's just because I like to make it so that you guys can also have the ability to not feel overwhelmed and take it upon yourself and have a little fun with it. So I decided to play around some more with the cabinets. I obviously passed that part, but as you can see, I made them more of a dark wood, which now it blends in with the flooring. And I really do love like the beige walls, the dark cherry wood, and then having little pops of, maybe like turquoise and blue and like all these sorts of, like even red, like it makes no damn sense, but it looks all right, and then also having bushes just everywhere. I love the bush. Hey, no, you know what? If you comment that crap down below, I'm gonna end up slapping you. Okay, just saying. Call me an abuser. That's fine. But we're gonna move on to the bathroom, and this is another place where I needed some aid. So I decided to go ahead and use the floor plan thingy-majiggers for that. I was originally going to go in countertops, but I felt like for a kind of guest bathroom, that wasn't necessary, okay? Wasn't necessary. We needed to keep it lighthearted. We needed to keep it very vague and empty. Easy to maneuver. I didn't want to make it so cozy. I just wanted to make it more professional looking, I guess, more elegant looking. And then upstairs, I think I do kind of add in those countertops and personalize it a little bit more, even though that was in the original like pre-made room thing, structure or whatever. Like you can change it. Like you don't have to make it exactly as it is. And I really love how the bathroom turned out. I feel like for a while I really struggled making the theme of the house kind of very fluent and consistent throughout the house. I actually did not have that much of a problem this time, which was really refreshing because it's one of the main things that I struggle. I actually feel like I am closer and closer and closer to closing that gap from making the outside kind of mimic what it should be, or mirror rather what it would be in the inside. So I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself because I don't build very much. Like the only time that I build really is what you guys see and what I post. And so it doesn't really give me that much time to improve and be creative. But in a way, you're actually watching me improve and develop and change. And I think that's kind of cool. It's like a learning experience together. You know what I mean? Like bit by bit. I mean, I've definitely made some positive gains, but I'm nowhere near to where I would want to be. And I'm really just still learning and I'm loving it. It's so much fun. I really am getting into building. Like I really, really am. So I think we're pretty much just wrapping up the final details of the bottom floor. This is probably the last room. I'm so freaking adamant about that bar. What is this? But we're just about wrapping up the bottom floor. And again, with the whole being very frustrated and not sure of where I was going with the whole entire shindig, I just kind of took a deep breather. And I arranged the furniture just in a whole bunch of different ways and kind of came to the conclusion that I liked the 3-seater sofas. And I really loved the bookshelf kind of off to the side here. And I played around with also adding in a chess table and just some other random doodads that I'll probably never use if I actually do move into this house. But they were, again, just for some space. And I felt like it was looking a little dull, a little dark and drabby. So I decided to kind of add in some color by making the couches green, which actually ties in perfectly to the little plant thing that we added in there. So I'm adding in a few other things, but I actually wanted to add in an aquarium. It's one of the things I really wanted to this house. So I just cut into that wall and just made some random cuts so that it was not such an empty, weird looking voided space. I know that may be weird, but it just helps me the way that I see things, my aesthetic. And I think that's pretty much about it for this build. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to go and comment, rate, and subscribe. And I will see you all on the flip side. Bye, guys. Alrighty. Awkward pause. Awkward pause. No, really, though. I will see you later. See you later. Bye-bye. Really, though. You gotta go.